My husband of 7 years is accusing me of baby trapping him. So I let him go, and now he is crawling back after he learned that I am having a baby girl. Recently, my husband discovered that his friend, Jeff, has been baby trapped. Basically, Jeff's wife stopped taking the pill and fell pregnant a few months into their relationship and only came clean after the wedding. Jeff came from a very conservative family, which his wife knew, so he felt obligated to marry her after the pregnancy. Unfortunately, he feels obligated to stay regardless of the messed up dynamic because he feels he has made a vow and will stick by his wife and child. My husband, for some reason, has been rattled by this. I am currently 4 months pregnant with our first, and my husband asked me yesterday if I was trying to baby trap him. I first laughed because I honestly thought it was a joke. He was dead serious and doubled down. So I told him we had already been married for 7 years and that a baby would not trap him any more than he already was. My husband did not like that answer and said there was no time limit on baby trapping and that my intentions were not pure, given how I acted as if his concerns were a joke. He said he had trusted me in the past, but my laughing in his face gave him no reason to trust me now. I did not know what he wanted or how I was meant to respond, and I said we should discuss this in the morning. I woke up and my husband was gone, but I did have a nasty text from his brother saying that I had forced my husband into this pregnancy despite it having been a joint decision. My husband had insulted me in our marriage in a very hurtful way. I was so confused and upset that it didn't occur to me to be angry. In the meantime, I called my best friend. She came over with some chocolate and was furious when she heard. She called her husband to the house after I had gotten everything out of my system. He is a family lawyer and said he would happily represent me if I wanted to divorce. Then, my mother-in-law showed up in the car with my husband not long after my best friend's husband arrived, and she practically dragged him to the door. My MIL said that he had shown up at theirs late last night, saying that he was certain that I was using the baby to trap him. Fortunately, my mother-in-law is a smart woman and tore him a new one before dragging him to the house today to apologize. My worm of a husband did not look me in the eye the entire time, but said that he was scared about becoming a dad and projected his fears onto me. He said he wasn't sure if he was ready for that kind of commitment, but he would step up. I called him a coward and told him that he should stay with his parents until I was ready to talk to him. I didn't want to say anything about the divorce papers because I didn't know his reaction, but he will find out soon enough. I also showed my MIL the text from my BIL. Her face was like a storm cloud. Overall, everything has settled a little bit. My mother-in-law was a gem, and I was so touched that I included her in the scan. She is very excited to be a granny. On that note, my mother-in-law organized a family lunch a few days after the scan. I was a little reluctant, but I knew she had good intentions and wouldn't do anything to make matters worse. When I arrived, my husband and BIL were there, along with my FIL and MIL. It was quite awkward until my mother-in-law asked if anyone had anything to say. My BL spoke first and apologized for his awful text. Next, my mother-in-law looked quite pointedly at my husband, but he actively avoided anyone's eyes. Eventually, she spoke up and announced that my husband would no longer be welcome to stay in their house. She said that she was ashamed to have her son behave the way that he has, and that she would prefer to make space for her granddaughter rather than have some lowlife hanging around. My husband opened his mouth to say something earlier, but his eyes lit up when she said, granddaughter. My husband had always wanted a girl and was suddenly in tears, saying he was so pleased to hear the gender. My husband suddenly wanted to touch my belly and asked if he could come home and paint the nursery. I told him in no uncertain terms that he was not welcome, and that he had destroyed any trust I had in him. I told him that if I took him back, I would be worried that he would disappear at any kind of big news, and that I couldn't have someone at my side who balked at the first chance. He asked me if I was telling him it was over, and I point blankly told him that I had engaged a lawyer. My husband was kind of frantic, but I felt so calm, like someone had put a blanket over me. Normally, I am a big crier, but I feel so removed from everything. My husband said that this was not fair. He had shown a little bit of panic, and suddenly I was throwing away our life, even denying him his daughter. My FIL reminded him this was the same baby he felt trapped by no more than 2 weeks ago. My husband said it was a mistake and he was stressed, but my MIL asked him how he thought I felt. She asked him to imagine being so vulnerable and giving up your body to grow a family. Then suddenly the one person you trust is accusing you of terrible things. In all of this, in all the times he told me he wanted me and our baby, he never once apologized properly. After a long discussion, the lunch wrapped up, and my MIL stood by what she said about my husband not being welcome. He asked again if he could come home with me, and I told him that it was my house. I owned the house before we married, and would be a safe space for me. That is to say, he is not welcome. As far as I know, he is staying at a hotel. Finally, he was served divorce papers at work on Friday. My mother-in-law called me when she heard, telling me I was making the right decision. She said she never wanted my marriage to end this way, or for her son to be so insensitive, but she said she is here for us, and that we will always be family.